Facebook.
All right.
Man, happy Sunday, everybody. It's the first Sunday of the new year and what my brother, Mr. Quintus McDonald, calls 2020 WON. And today, that's 2021 for those of you who aren't really up to it yet. And today, my name is Steve Poznansky. It still is. It was yesterday as well. But today we have Mr. Quintus McDonald on with us. Happy New Year, Big Q.
Well, thank you, Brother Steve. Happy New Year to you and your household. I gotta do a disclaimer simply because you led in with the 2020 WON. That is from my esteemed business partner who coined that. In fact, there's a lot going on. I'll let you get into the interview, but my friend who happens to be my business partner. We became business partners before he became my friend. I knew his character before we became business partners. I did not know that we would become friends. I knew that I would do business with him, but I did not know that I would be able to count him as a friend of mine. That's Mr. Demond Crump.
Hey, Demond, and so if Demond, if you're listening, how you doing? Happy New Year to you and your family. So, Q, I have to start this off and with some accolades. For those of you who don't know who Mr. Quintus McDonald is, well, I am going to tell you, okay? This is Sunday. It's football Sunday. We're going to talk about a few things here. Normally, we go 20 to 30 minutes. We might go a little longer today. However, Mr. Quintus McDonald, if you don't know who he is, back in 1984, okay, was the USA Today Defensive Player of the Year, high school. All right, so we got it good. So we started off good, right? Then he went on to play 4 years under Joe Paterno, a 4-year letterman at linebacker, Penn State University, Nittany Lions, right?
Correction.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I lettered in 3 different positions.
Well,
I played 4 different positions while I was in school, and I lettered. Two of those positions were linebackers, and I lettered both of those years. 1 year I lettered as a tight end, and the other year I lettered as a defensive end.
Wow, I'm glad it was a correction for the better, Q. So on that one, I'm going to say we are Penn State. Okay.
Were you a little nervous? That's the look that was on your face? You were like,
you got me scared there. I thought you were going to say, not a 4-year, but then, Quintus was a 5-star prospect, if I'm not mistaken, before there were even 5 stars. So just to let you know, that's how good this man was back in the 80s and 90s. And after playing for Penn State, he went on to play for the Indianapolis Colts, if I'm not mistaken there. And don't be correcting me again, Quintus. But he went on to play for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, with all that being said, Q, those are some great accomplishments. But I think that your number one accomplishment, because we're going to talk about where you were in the past and where you are now. But I think out of all those accolades, I think that the biggest one has got to be, and if anybody thinks about it's over or you're quitting or you could never go back, you could never finish, 30 years later, Quintus went back to Penn State and got his college degree. That, to me, Q, is the biggest accomplishment out of all. The fact that, you started Penn State, you went on to play in the pros, and then you went back to get your degree. So I have to ask you, what made you go back and finish?
Well, it was a goal that I set that I still had the capacity to accomplish. And then God made space in my life for me to do it. He gave me a wife that was super willing to walk with me doing the things. I mean, and going back to school online is a challenge for anyone going to school online. I mean, if you look at the lay of the land, there was a point in time in 2020 when the whole nation was in shock because our children were going to have to go to school online, and we didn't have the infrastructure set up. So that's the average family. Now you take a person removed from school forever, and you know, my coach has given me permission, and I appreciate that, for me to lead in and say, look, the profession that I chose, the way that I played, it has taken its toll. It's taken its effect on my mental capacity. Um, and that's just the reality of it. So if I start to go down the trail somewhere, reel me back in, bro. But that being said, for a man, you know, 50 years old to try to really understand economics of all things enough. I mean, the first I'll tell you a funny story. The first section, I guess it's not what it's really called, but the first section, I was doing okay. You know, I was drilled in, I was focused, and I was doing okay. And by the third section of the first chunk, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I started looking for a tutor. So I say that to say this, that God has blessed me with relationships, to be able to build relationships. And it's these relationships, like the dean that was the dean of the College of Communications, when I was still at the school back in 2019 when I went back. There is many people who remembered me. My counselor was still at the school. Well, he was a new counselor, but he remembered me. He's a football fan. He's a big Penn State fan. He's a student fan. Great guy named Jamie. These folks all helped me walk through this process. So, you know, I may be the one, you know, smiling. Sure, I'm happy. It was an exciting time, and I'm grateful that God put these people in my life to help me walk through it. Even Jonathan Gross, you on the post, you know, I had the opportunity to graduate with one of Blair Thomas and I put together a marketing company called Nittany Sports Huddle, and we had, it was a communications based company where we would talk about the games and so on and so forth. And I had the opportunity to graduate, walk across the stage with one of our students, one of the what's it called when they volunteer?
Now, isn't Jonathan Gross the guy that did one of the podcasts for you at the Nittany Sports Huddle?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was the main guy. And this young man, amazing young man, came up to me. Blair and I were out at the Rose Bowl when we played Southern Cal. And we were walking around, enjoying the sights up in the stadium. And I see a radio table set up with a nice view of the field. We were actually going to look and see where we were set to be. And this young man turned around and called me by name, introduced himself. And we began working with Jonathan from that day forward. I told Blair, I said, we've got our next intern. He's our next superstar, and he is an absolute superstar. So God gave me all of these pieces, man, to help walk me through it. I'm eternally grateful, bro, that he chose me to do it.
Well, you know, again, Q, I think that out of the accolades that I just mentioned, you know, the 5-star player, the defensive player of the year, I think the fact that you went back 30 years later because of a goal that you had set,
That's okay,
right. To finish. And you probably didn't have to finish, but that was a goal you set, and you made up your mind and you went ahead and finished it. So
I had to finish, bro. I had to pay. Ain't no doubt about it. When the opportunity presented itself, I mean, I had been going back for a number of years, and you know, there's a book coming out before the end of the year, and we'll go into some detail about that there. But you know, this wasn't, you know, I had been going back, so it wasn't like a one shot. Oh, he's got 3 credits. No, I had done 3 credits. I ended up with the need for 6 credits back in 2018. After all of the auditing and everything, and the changing of the, you know, the schools going back and forth, and what's credits work, and on top of that, you talk about me being this 5-star athlete. You know, I still had a bill to pay. I owed Penn State money before I could even take classes, so I needed to catch that up. So yeah, it's a little more in depth than just the cap and the tassel.
Well, listen, you know, when that book comes out, you know, we'll make sure we let everybody know. But you know, couldn't be more proud to be associated with a man like you, and understanding you. And for those of you who don't know, this is Quintus McDonald we're speaking with. Every Sunday he does a little 15-20-minute Facebook Live called A Lion's Heart, that I suggest that if you haven't listened to it, you should look them up and listen to it, because it's inspirational. Trust me when I tell you. And there's not too many things that inspire me, especially on a Sunday morning. But when I listen to Q, you know, I get inspired. Now, Q, let's talk a little bit about where you are now. Now you're the CEO. You're in a CEO world. You know, you have a program called I Am Recycling. And for those of you who want to find out more about it, you can go to IntellicardUSA's Facebook page, and you could see the picture we put up of your I Am Recycling card and your KQ3 Enterprises, which we'll talk about in a minute. You could scan them and get all the information you want. But I Am Recycling, I know it's in, if I'm now, this one you could correct me, but I know it's in North Carolina, Georgia, Jersey, and I forget the 4. I know you're doing it in 4 different locations. Could you talk about more about your I Am Recycling?
Well, I Am Recycling is an organism that we put together to with the central idea of embracing communities, going in and educating individuals within that community that have been left behind, that have fallen behind. We go in and we embrace and then begin to educate them on who they are, and help them to see the worth that they have, the wealth that's within them. And then we economically empower them by building relationships with people who have access to jobs, to and if they're an entrepreneur by spirit, then we help them and to guide them to places where they can grow what that is. If they're a carpenter by trade, if they're a brick mason by trade, if they're a sewer by trade, whatever the case may be, we use our relationships to help economically empower them to get into the space that they are purposed for. So it's not about what I want a person to be. It's about helping them discover who God created them to be, and empowering them on the other end. You know, just not giving them a fish sandwich, but teaching them literally how to fish, how to go out. Let's say I'm a carpenter. I learned the trade, but I'll also learn how to go and have a conversation with a prospective client or partner. You know, and I Am Recycling, terminology means a lot. What comes out of our mouths mean a lot. So we talk about working with returning citizens, returning from what? Anything.
Right.
From whatever it is that had you off track. You know, it's you know, myself returning from having I shouldn't have bought the whole bag of Snickers
Forget about buying the whole bag of Snickers. We shouldn't have eaten the whole bag of Snickers. Buying them's not the problem, Q. It's eating them, man.
Yes, yeah.
So you mentioned, again, you threw in a key word there, and you said it. You've said this a couple of times, and for anyone that's listening, it's relationships, right?
That's right.
You talked about the relationships you built when you were at Penn State that allowed you to go back, and people still remembered you and got you going to where you needed to be to get that cap and tassel. And the same thing kind of at I Am Recycling is you're not telling people what they should be, right? You're also finding out what they could be as best to their ability, but using the relationships that you've built to help them along the way, because you've met so many different people in so many different businesses. Now, for those of you, again, I Am Recycling is a nonprofit organization. So if you're going to go ahead and scan Quintus's card, scan it off our IntellicardUSA Facebook page. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a donate button. So feel free to donate. Okay. Feel free to help out, because it's 2021. And again, 2020 WON. And we're going to thank Damon Crump for that. So again, Quintus, it's a blessing that, you're able to do that and give back to the community, because, not many people are in the giving back spirit, but I could tell you that you certainly are. So now let's go into your KQ. I'm telling you, Quintus is a man of, I can't even tell you how many things, but we're just going to get into a couple, or we're going to sit here and talk all day. And I know he wants to watch the Colts. So, now your KQ3 Enterprises, I know you're involved in that also. I know Karen's involved. And for those of you, that's Karen McDonald, Quintus's lovely wife, or as Quintus likes to say, his queen. Trust me, I watch enough of your videos, brother. I know. So tell us about the KQ3 Enterprises and what you do there.
Well, I
know you're ready for that, man. You're warming up for this
because
one.
I got lumped up this morning already, man. Listen,
I saw that.
I get to sit in the COO. Really, I'm not even. I'm learning so much from my wife. She's just amazing, man. She is the CEO, and I'm the COO in training. of KQ3 Enterprises, brother. Oh man, I tell you what, I tried to integrate. Well, what we do at KQ3 Enterprises, first and foremost, we are a wellness company. We're a wellness company, wellness based, anything wellness that that we do together corporately comes through there, and that wellness is not just about physical wellness, financial wellness as well. That's where she handles all of the stocks, the trading, the forex, all of those various things. She's the boss there. That's what that's under. And I'm going to go ahead and tell on myself. I was trying to bring. I've tried to bring something to the table, and she shut it down until it was correct. Don't bring no half nothing here over here. And that's what I did. What you're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. So I love it, man. What better way to have multiple streams of income than with your life partner, your rib, my rib, the one that I love. And I learned from her, man. She's dynamic. She is absolutely amazing. Anybody that can get me to slow down long enough to not only listen, but to really hear and do on the first go round. I know it wasn't always like that. We got 7 years. We got 7 years in, and I'm learning. So KQ3, my wife is the CEO. She runs the C-suite. I'm just not just, but I am her support there at KQ3 Enterprise.
Well, that's fantastic. And again, you could always scan the card and take a look at it. And then I know, Quintus, before we get into the final one, you know, everybody should knows that not only is Quintus is a friend. I call him my brother Q all the time, but he's actually also an IntellicardUSA customer.
That's right.
And we're growing together. And Q, how does the card, if you don't mind me asking, how does the card help you, get through your day and get through business actually?
Oh man, I tell you what, we just gave it a really, really good run at this last event down in Dallas. There was, oh man, probably we were expecting 30 plus coaches. We had at least 20, and then some parents volunteered, and my hat, I salute. I don't remember the young man's name, but he helped with the linebackers. One day when my leg was giving me problems, and he came out and he helped, and he was tremendous. So my hat goes off to excuse me, to Brett Cooper, and all of the families, all of the young men that came and battled. I'm talking about probably 35, maybe 40 degrees, cold rain in Dallas, Texas, outside. These young men went to war, went to battle out there, and did a tremendous job. So my hat, and I salute the entire organization, the Brett Cooper Jr. organization. I mean, you figure about 130 young men and their families. That's a big event. That's
Sure,
huge. That's
sure.
major. And it went over well. I think that he is happy with it. I know I learned a lot. I go trying to pick up bits and pieces of how to do things. I've never done anything on that magnitude. And it looks like the Lord's blessing that we will venture down, that we are going to venture down that road. I agreed. I've been asked to bring the Montclair Junior, bring the I Am Mobile Training Academy to Tennessee, and we've agreed and began the preliminary planning. So that's exciting as well. But the card worked well because that coach that invited me to come to his place, I sent it via email instead of via text. The capacity of the card to be able to send my information, a wealth of information that I get to choose what I send, that will never ever fit on anything. This is my room key, but this is about the size of a business card, traditional business card. I have the capacity to send multiple links, all of the information that an individual will need. I was able to send that, and I sent that to Coach Keith, and we just talked earlier today, and we're gonna continue to walk down this road. But I also sent it to the other 20 coaches. That's where I was headed. I sent it to all of the coaches, and it was easy to do. We exchanged either an email or a phone number. I didn't touch their phone. They didn't touch my phone. I kept my mask on. They kept their mask on, and they've got my information, and I've got theirs. And now we can move forward and do business. Everybody went back their separate ways, and didn't have to shake hands, didn't have to put anything out of his pocket into my pocket, none of that. So the functionality of a digital business card only makes sense in this world that we're living in now. This is the digital age. Why in the world would I be walking around trying to hand someone a card when they don't even want, they probably got on gloves. They don't want to touch it. So functionality, A+. It looks good. I'm proud to send it off. Your graphic arts department is doing a bang up job. So the whole thing from start to finish, the fact that it's on my home screen and I can just send whichever card I decide. If it's a wellness case, if it's a wellness piece, or a financial piece, I send the KQ3 card. If it's directly related to the ministry in some way, shape, or form, or that's what I'm led to send, I'll send the ministry card. If it's a person who is a C-suite individual with broad vision and many relationships, then I send my CEO card and let him see that the diversity that I bring to the table as well. So it's a great way, a tremendous way to present yourself to an individual.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure the feedback was pretty good. And now for the final piece of today's puzzle, the Nittany Sports Huddle. Tell us a little bit about that. And for those of you, you can actually find it on Facebook. It's Nittany Sports Huddle. I know this is something that I think you do with Blair Thomas, former Jet, Jets. I don't think they're doing so well today. Last time I looked, they were down 7-0, but they'll come back. But tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Nittany Sports Huddle is a DBA for a company that Blair and I put together called BQ Consulting. We put together the consulting company to give us a platform, legal platform to do business through our intellectual property, our Penn State and NFL likeness is why we put that together. Nittany Sports Huddle has come to a crawl simply because of what 2020 presented to us. So we are in a pause, and we'll be prayerful as to which way we pivot next year with Nittany Sports Huddle. However, BQ Consulting is alive and well. Blair has a wellness line. Oh boy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah, I hear you fine.
You hear me? Okay, because I'm on my telephone's wireless. I thought maybe it would shut down.
That's probably Blair calling you up saying, "How do I get in on the interview?"
Yeah, probably right. You're probably right. But I got you covered, B. So what we're doing is we're still using the consulting piece, and Blair and I, will be using the consulting piece for him to be a part of the I Am Academy, so that we continue to keep the business running. His pay will come to BQ Consulting and things of that nature. Just a business tip for those listening about business, but we're in a place of pivot as far as Nittany Sports Huddle is concerned. The website is still active. We've not updated it. The Facebook page is active, and people do go there and visit, and our interns, infrequently former interns, they still have access to post things, and someone is continuing to post on our Facebook page, which is great. But yeah, that's where we are with that. We're waiting to see what this new year brings as far as athletics at Penn State and our partner. We have a partner there with Go PSU RV. Is the group that we ended up partnering with for the long haul. We started out marketing with several different companies, a couple of beverage companies, so on and so forth, doing marketing for them, and hosting pre and post game shows with our student interns, all of those things. It was a lot of fun. It was a great run. Once again, relationships. We met some fantastic young people who are doing amazing things across the country, from all the way from LA to Virginia to John is here in North Carolina, doing a bang up job, in his first job out of school. So we couldn't be more proud of what we were able to accomplish. We got our goals done. We got our goals accomplished by giving students a platform to present their talents and take what they put together and present it to companies. And they're all the ones that have graduated went straight into jobs. They went straight to work. So very, very proud of what we accomplished with Nittany Sports Huddle, but we're facing a pivot.
Well, it seems like, well, you're not the only one, Q. A lot of people are pivoting, and, hopefully this 2020 WON will be a lot better for everybody. And again, I want to let everybody know who we're speaking with, Quintus McDonald. And now, Quintus, this is how I'm going to wrap this up, because you're going to love this. All right. So Quintus McDonald, he was a USA Today Defensive Player of the Year, 5-star recruit, college graduate, played at Penn State, got more letters than the alphabet. Okay, because I was wrong when I said 4 letters. So I don't know how many letters you ended up telling me. I think you were on about 7 letters, but okay.
No. It was 1 letter a year, just 4 different positions.
All right. Well, you still got more letters than the alphabet because that doesn't include the CEO titles, the COO titles, everything that you're doing. You know,
Nice.
Quintus, man, I got to tell you, it's an honor and a pleasure to call you my friend and my brother. I love you. Thank you for coming on today. And for those of you who are listening, you know, thanks for taking time on a Sunday. Remember, you got to catch Quintus on Sunday morning. I'm serious. You got to catch him on a Lion's Heart. It's on his Quintus McDonald Facebook page. Quintus, again, send my best to the lovely wife, to the queen. All right. God bless you. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to doing some great things with you this year.
Outstanding. As am I, brother. You know, coming up right around the corner. We're going to knock it out the park next week and keep it moving. Period, point blank.
You got it, brother. I appreciate you, Q.
Hey, does that say NFL alumni behind you, bro? I can't read what's in blue.
It says NFL alumni, and I got the NFL alumni football up there, man.
I believe you.
Yeah, NFL alumni.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
But you're IntellicardUSA. Tell them how you got that, bro.
What I think what they all really know is because, you know, we're the official card of the NFL alumni, Q.
Say that then, man.
All right. I'm gonna say it. We are, you know, the official card. We're actually doing some. We're actually doing trying to get some stuff done here before the Super Bowl. I know some of the guys are going to be down here. We're going to social distance. You know, they're going to be doing a lot of online events. But yes, I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing that up. I keep forgetting it's in the right-hand corner above my head. If I can only get it closer, you know.
That shield is a beautiful thing, brother. That shield is a beautiful thing. I salute all of my fraternity brothers, my NFL alumni brothers. If you even just signed a contract and stepped on the field for a preseason game, I salute you. And I wish you well in this 2020 WON. God bless you all, man. Paz, God bless you, bro. I appreciate the hard work you do, bro. Your dedication to your craft is outstanding. I appreciate that. And I love aligning myself with men such as you.
Thank you, Q, man. The feeling's mutual, man. I love you, brother. Have a great day. All right?
All right. Peace.
Peace out, man.